spring and guys are understanding we're getting immediate feedback on it. And whether or not, you're winning or you're on the wrong side of it is being talked about every single day. And so it's been good, and guys have felt that and gotten that.
Is it something you guys are repping more than you did this time last year, or is it just something you're more efficient at?
We're finding ways to do a couple of different situations, and adding that part into practice for sure. But again, these guys they understand that there is a heightened awareness and urgency, and there's being on the wrong side and the wrong side of it.
Coach, talk about your running back room a little bit, how those guys look through fall practices.
We've got to continue to create depth in that room. We've got guys that, again, are really capable. We've got 3 guys in there that have some game day experience. But, again, we want to see those guys continue to work and end up going into week 1 with 5 or 6 guys so that, you got an entire stable. And, again, the reason we can get that done is because we've got guys that are capable. They just got to continue to get better every day.
We saw Chuck out here. I didn't see him today.
Gavin was out here.
Was it?
What guys have stood out in that group for you so far?
Yeah, again, the steady guys been Gavin, been Javante. Without a doubt, Marcus has had a great start to camp, so need to continue that trend. Obviously, we all know what he can do for us when he's on the field and when he's healthy, and he's got to stay that way, and he's had a good start as well.
Been cognizant of that, trying to put more mileage on the young guys early with Marcus?
Yeah, we're trying to create depth, and we're trying to find out who are guys that can be counted on. Talweed's another guy that's had a good start to camp. So with those guys, and then adding Caleb in and Hollywood and a couple others, we've got a chance to have a really deep room, and that's what we need.
Coach, you don't have a ton of height at wide receivers. There maybe been more of an emphasis on getting quickness. How does it fit with your scheme?
Yeah, we're looking for tall, fast guys, just like everybody else. I'm not going to overthink that part of it. And guys that are great competitors and can make competitive plays and go play ball. So I think we've got a really good mix in the room when you think about guys like Jay Gibb and Nick and Andrell with the length. And then you've got guys like Jalil and LV that are kind of those combo guys. And then you've got guys like Drake and like Gavin. So I think we've got a good mix for what that room is right now.
So many wide receivers looking for snaps. Is it almost one of those things that you want to see somebody flash each day, somebody different, or is it better to have just one guy?
No, you're wanting different guys to have great days, and you're wanting the whole group to have great days every day. I mean, that's the reality of it. Again, we talked about this a couple of days ago, but we want to play with 7 guys at the receiver position to where you can go rotate, and man, guys are fresh and fast and healthy, and that's what we got to create. We're 4 days in. It's been a good start, but that room's got to continue to come on just like everybody else.
How's Jaden coming on?
Jaden's done good. Again, he had a good spring. He's continued to mature. He's a smart young man that knows what to do. He's got to do it all the time. And again, that's like everybody, but he's had a good start.
Is it a challenge at all as you're trying to rep those guys to not only get them in there, but build that chemistry with Dylan when you've got so many new faces?
Yeah, you got to get creative without a doubt. But I think the biggest thing is when we put the tape on, just making sure guys are competing and straining, and when they have opportunities to make competitive plays, they make those plays. And then the timing part of it will take care of itself as we continue to move forward and rotate guys and make sure the right guys are getting the right reps with the right QBs.
Competitive depth came up a bunch the other day.
Yeah.
When we had the press conference. What have you seen through 4 days that make you feel one way or the other about that?
Yeah, I think it's just guys understanding what the expectation is. We've got a lot more guys in the room and on the practice field today than we did a year ago today that understand what the strain needs to look like. And we've got good bodies in the room, in the receiver room, again in the running back room, in the tight end room. We got guys that maybe aren't the first ones that are stepping out there, but they can play at a really high level, and that's the expectation. Regardless of who's in the game, being able to play at a high level, and our guys have taken that and run with it.
You wouldn't have told us last year if you didn't have a lot of faith in your depth. But looking back, do you have a lot more now, do you think, than you did this time last year?
We really do. I think walking out here on the grass, you can just see the bodies. In another year with Schmitty and recruiting and being year 2, I think you can tell that we look just walking on the field better than we did a year ago today, which is helpful.
Even without not going through a full spring, Headaway seems like he's made some noise early.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of speed there, but is there other things too that maybe he's a little bit more advanced than just a regular freshman?
He's a really strong-bodied kid, so when he's got the ball in his hands, he kind of turns into a running back, so he's going to be able to do some good things. you know, the biggest strain for him is, man, knowing what to do all the time when he gets tired, when it's happening fast and people are yelling, and being able to still go execute. But proud of where he is 4 days in, and again, we're going to like him.
It's early, but the tight end room, it seems like there's a lot of question marks there just as far as replacing Braden and everything he brings to this offense. Where do you see that, just even though it is so early, where do you see that coming together?
Stogg's done well. He's got to continue to work himself into great shape so he can go last 80 snaps, 85 snaps, and maybe not having to play all those. But Blake Smith is a guy, again, he's done a really nice job. He's a smart guy that we can put a lot on, that tries to be physical, chooses to be physical, and can do some things. And then with some of the young guys, they're coming on. I think outside of those two, the next 4 guys, we got to have a great day every day, just like everybody again. But those guys got to continue to come on.
What is some of the Finelli look? How does Josh Finelli look so far?
Again, he's talented. It's just understanding, you know, this kid hadn't played a lot of football, but this is a guy that's got a bunch of talent and a bunch of ability. He's just, you know, got to continue to dial in on the detail, get better every day, and keep stacking days. And once he can do that, he's a guy that I think will look up, and he'll be a guy that can help. But every day's got to be a better day than the one before.
What are some of those challenges that come with the older guys in those room first year in your offense? So not having that built in.
Yeah, I think the thing that helps though is that Stogg he's played so much ball that he knows a lot of ball, and again, him being here in the spring. Same with Blake. You know, he's played, he understands ball, he knows ball, he's a smart guy. So those guys have transitioned really well.
Gavin Salcha, Javante Barnes, how have they looked so far?
Yeah, we talked about it a second ago. Those guys they've had a good start to camp. We're being smart with them while trying to create a bunch of depth in that room. But Marcus, Javante, Gavin, Tawi, all 4 of those guys have had a really good start. Now we just got to continue to create depth behind that.
Have you ever in your career coached a situation like Stogner, guy who's been a place, played a bunch, left, played, came back?
Yeah, no, this is a first for sure. I think that's part of kind of what's going on with football right now, like we had talked about the other day. But Stogg he's a guy that loves Oklahoma, and I know he's dang happy to be back. He's excited about the year he's going to have.
Is it not as strange for you, since you weren't here 2 years ago, to see the original?
I mean, maybe so, but I think everybody in that locker room has always loved Stogg, and when he came back, I think everybody was excited about that. And there's a lot of transition, a lot of things happening, and people made decisions based on whatever they needed to make a decision on, and having him back, we're dang glad that he is, so it's been good.
Could you think of a better scenario? Essentially, you lose Braden Willis, you pick up the guy that started over him before he came back?
No, again, he's we're dang glad that he's back, without a doubt. He's got to continue to, again, work himself into great shape, just from playing a bunch of snaps, but he'll do that.
Can you use him as versatile as you did Braden Willis?
Yeah, I think you got to do some things a little differently, but you can absolutely use him in a big-time way, in the throw game, in the run game, being able to create a lot of different pictures because he is so intelligent, and he's a mismatch for guys, so he's a guy that we'll use a bunch of different ways.
I probably missed out on this, but how you talked about Dylan, how good he's been early on, but Arnold coming in, and now you have a guy feel assumably comfortable at the backup position. How's he looked early?
4 days in with Jackson, you just tell that there's just a ton of confidence inside of him right now compared to the first 4 days of spring ball. And that's just the growth of being able to go through it in the spring and having the summer and getting the install again. And now we're back 4 days in, and he's created confidence for himself because of how much time he spent in that meeting room. So it's slowing down for him a little bit. He's got to continue to strain every day to be a heck of a lot better. But that's all of us.
Did you talk about why Sawchuk wasn't at practice today?
He was out here at the beginning of it. Somebody asked me a minute ago if he was out here, and he was, because he went through bags with us. He was with us for the beginning. So if something changed, I'm not aware.
Okay.
What can Nick Anderson maybe bring to this offense? I apologize if you already asked.
No, we talked a little bit about Nick earlier, but he's a big, fast, strong guy that is a guy that's worked incredibly hard, is very intelligent, and we're looking for big things. He needs to continue to play better every day, but he needs to be one of these 7-8 guys that can go play at a high level every single snap, and he's definitely capable of it.
Jeff, you said on media day that you have receivers that are incredibly talented, that you don't have a lot of production yet out of these guys. Yet here you're in camp, you got to try to get them to that point, right? You know, how's that coming along?
4 days in, we're good, and we talked about it just a minute ago, and these guys have done a really good job of pushing each other, taking advantage of every rep they've gotten. Again, we've got to continue to make competitive plays, put them in those situations to give them opportunities to make them. But we got guys that, man, are hungry about being great. They're serious about being great, and pleased with the mindset and the mentality in that room. And we'll continue to strain that as we move forward.
What kind of growth have you seen from LV from this time last year to now?
It's just year 2 in the offense, understanding it, and a guy that he puts himself on the field, and man, he's serious about being really good. And so proud of his spring, but his summer, how consistent he's been, and then how consistent he's been for the first 4 days of camp.
He can flip both outside and inside for you, can
Yeah, he's a combo guy that's learned all of it. That can do a lot.
Jeff, forgive me if it's been asked, but as you're working new guys in or trying to identify your playmakers, especially at receiver, what are the details, those things you're looking for right now?
Yeah, we're looking for guys that are going to be able to go operate at a championship level every single snap. So for us, what that looks like is whether it's blocking on the perimeter and dominating, your one-on-one matchup in that light, or it's being in a one-on-one situation and making a competitive play. So those are the things that we're looking for every single day. And we're at a good point. Again, 4 days in, we got to have guys continue to grow and get better and keep making plays. That's the biggest deal, man. It's a player's game, and our guys have taken that, they've ran with it, and they're going to go do it.